For 3 centuries, this silhouette was the end of the world, the longship.
It drew less than a meter of water. It could sail where others ran aground. No harbor needed, just a beach.
Other ships were built like castles, rigid. The longship was built like a living thing. It danced with the storm. Wind or muscle. It used both. It could outrun anything it couldn't fight and catch anything that tried to flee. Pointed at both ends. It could reverse direction instantly. A hit-and-run weapon that never got trapped.
History remembers the raids, but the miracle happened here, in the winter. Let's build the Dragon.
We begin in the snow, finding the mother oak. 80 feet of flawless heartwood. Winter sap is low. The wood is lighter and harder. We drop it into the snow.
We carve the T shape, the spine that will hold the ribs and the ocean.
For the curved prow, we don't bend wood. We find trees born crooked by the wind.
The scarf joint. A complex marriage of wood to connect the straight to the curve. Iron nails lock the joint. The keel now turns upward to meet the sky. Front and back. The skeleton is defined. 60 feet of continuous strength.
The spine is laid, but a spine needs skin. We must split the planks. To make a plank, we do not saw. Sawing kills the wood. We split it. This is called riving.
The fibers are like straws. We leave them unbroken. The water cannot enter. The strength is preserved. We hew the triangle flat. Half the wood becomes chips on the floor. Only the perfect heart remains.
The axe roughs it. The adze smooth it. We shave the plank until it is smooth as glass.
Thin, light, flexible. This is not lumber. This is a spring.
On the inside, we leave raised cleats. Anchors carved from the same living wood.
Wood must stay alive. We store the planks underwater. Wet wood bends, dry wood snaps.
Thick for the bottom, thin for the top. Every board has a specific destiny.
The skin is ready. Now we must stitch it together. Shell first.
The garboard, the first plank. It must twist from standing tall to lying flat.
Oak fights back. We steam it until it submits, twisting the fiber without breaking the grain. We overlap the edges, like shingles on a roof. The ridge makes the skin stiff.
Outside drives the nail. Inside clinches the rove. Iron stitches the wood together.
At the waterline, the Meginhufer, the strong plank, the belt that holds the belly tight.
Strake by strake, the shell rises, held up by nothing but sticks and tension.
The gunwale locks the rim. The shell is finished. Open to the sky.
Wood moves. Iron holds it. But water is patient. It will find the gaps unless we seal them. We don't use soft wool here. We use cow hair. Coarse, oily, and rot-resistant.
Spun into a loose thread. A spongy cord waiting to drink the tar.
We drown it in pine tar. The hair holds the tar stops the water.
Sandwiched between the planks. When we rivet, the thread crushes flat. A perfect, flexible seal.
We coat the skin. Hot tar seals the pores. The pale oak turns dark and dangerous. Burnt pine and winter air. This is the perfume of the north. Without tar, the ocean eats the wood in a year. With tar, it lasts a century.
Phase 4 complete. The skin is sealed, black and watertight, but it has no bones. We must insert the ribs.
The skin is done. Now we add the bones. We must fit the skeleton into the body, not the other way around.
We hunt for knees, trees that bent in the wind. The grain flows around the curve, strong as iron.
We call them floor timbers, massive arches of oak that brace the bottom against the sea. The hull is stepped. The rib must match. We scribe the profile, mapping the chaos of the planks. We cut steps into the bone. It locks into the skin, a perfect marriage of shapes.
The rib floats over the keel. It never touches. The spine must be free to bend.
1 rib, 1 meter, 1 man. The ship is measured in oarsmen.
We cut mouse holes at the bottom. The bilge water must flow to the baler.
The ribs are in, but they are loose. If we nail them, the ship snaps. We must tie them. Rome used spikes. We used roots. We didn't nail the skeleton, we sewed it.
Spruce roots, boiled and stripped. Nature's zip ties, stronger than rope, flexible as wire.
Remember the cleats? We drill them sideways. We never pierce the waterproof skin.
Holes in the rib, holes in the cleat, a path for the root to follow. We lash them together. 3 loops, pulled tight while wet. When it dries, it shrinks and locks.
It wiggles. This is not a mistake. This flexibility saves the ship from the waves.
400 knots, each one done by hand. The spine is tied to the skin.
The skeleton is tied. The bottom dances, but the rim must be firm. We need to lock the width. We need cross beams.
The beatty, heavy oak lintels, 1 for every rib. They define the width of the dragon.
It sits on the rib, raising the floor. The crew stands here, the water flows below.
We don't force the wood. We find elbows in the forest. Natural knees for the ship's joints.
Bottom is lashed and loose. Top is riveted and rigid. Iron locks the knees. A pillar to stop the sag. The sneller supports the weight of 60 men. Flexible belly. Rigid shoulders. A paradox that survives the North Atlantic.
This defines the floor. Below is cargo and ballast. Above is war.
The width is locked. The ladder is built. The hull is no longer a shell.
The box is braced. The body is finished. Now we must give it a heart. The keelson. The wind pushes the mast down like a hammer. If it's on a plank, it punches through. We need a foundation.
The mast step. A socket deep enough to hold the tree, carved from solid heartwood. Below holds the weight. Above holds the sway. The mastfish supports the trunk at deck level. A giant oak wedge fills the gap. Hammer it in, the mast stands. Knock it out, the mast falls. The sail pushes forward. The mast pushes down. The blocks transfer the wind into the water.
The stress here is immense. We bolt it with iron. The heart must not break.
Phase 8 complete. The heart is ready. But a ship needs to steer. We need the starboard. Why is the right side called starboard? Because the Viking hung his steerboard here. the steering side.
A rudder on the back makes the ship one way. A rudder on the side lets the dragon swim backward.
Not a paddle, a wing, shaped to cut the water and turn the ship with a single finger.
The boss. A cushion of oak. It keeps the steering board clear of the skin. The axle is willow. Braided roots. Metal rusts. Willow lives in the water.
Beach landing, pull the strap. The rudder swings up, safe from the sand. Beach landing, pull the strap. The rudder swings up, safe from the sand.
If the axle snaps, the blade is lost. Unless you have the safety line. Viking redundancy.
We can steer, but we cannot move. We need the engine. We need the mast.
The hull is the body. The rudder is the tail. But the mast is the wings. We need a tree.
Oak is too heavy. We hunt the Scots pine. Tall, straight, and full of natural tar. We cannot break its bones. We build a bed of branches to catch the falling giant.
Strip the skin. The white meat of the pine must breathe before we shape it.
Thick at the foot to hold the strain. Thin at the head to catch the wind.
We rub the grain closed with stone, a hard, polished skin that the ropes won't chafe.
It will live in the rain. We dress it in tar, a golden coat against the rot.
The hounds, shoulders of oak. They hold the rigging up when the wind pulls down.
The yardarm, the horizontal bone. It spreads the sail like a dragon's wing.
Phase 10 complete. The engine is shaped, but it needs fuel. We need the blood of the forest, the tar.
Wood wants to rot. The ocean wants to eat it. We must embalm the ship in the blood of the pine.
We hunt the dead stumps. The resin retreats to the roots. Red gold. We call it fat wood.
We dig a funnel in the earth, a trap to catch the sweat of the burning wood.
We bury the wood. Air is the enemy. If it breathes, it burns to ash. We want it to sweat.
We light the ring. The heat presses down. Pyrolysis. The wood breaks down, releasing its oil. It bleeds. The heat forces the resin out. Black gold flows from the earth.
We boil off the water. What remains is pure protection. Thick, sticky, and eternal.
One ship needs a river of tar. We burn the forest to save the fleet.
Phase 11 complete. The blood is harvested. The wood is safe. Now we need metal, the iron anchor. A dragon needs a claw to hold the seafloor. Stone slips. We need the heavy metal. We don't mine mountains. We harvest the swamp. Bacteria create iron in the mud. Bog iron.
The ore is wet and alive. We roast it dry. Only dead rock enters the furnace.
Air drives the heat. Charcoal strips the oxygen. The rock turns into liquid slag and solid iron.
It doesn't melt like water. It clumps like dough. We pull the glowing bloom from the fire.
We beat the impurities out. The glass sprays like blood. The iron becomes solid.
3 hammers, 1 mind. We forge the arms that will grip the seabed.
Iron alone lies flat. We add a wooden crossbar to force the claw to bite. A rope can be cut. We forge a chain. Each link fire welded into an unbroken circle.
We have the weight, but we have no ropes. We need the skin of the walrus.
We twist the bark. Bast rope floats,
If you drop a line overboard, it waits for you on the surface.
Rope stretch. We use the virgin, a wooden toggle to twist the slack out of the lines.
When the sea freezes, hemp turns to a rod of ice. Horsehair stays loose. It bites the hand, but it holds the knot. No pulleys, just grease and muscle. The yard rises on the strength of the bark.
Phase 13 complete. The web is spun, the mast is stayed, but the yard is bare. We need the wool.
We see the wood and think ship, but the sail took longer. More labor in the wool than in the oak.
Not modern sheep, the old breed. 2 coats, soft down for warmth, long hair for rain. We don't cut, we pluck. Ruing preserves the length of the tog fibers.
Tog for the spine, fell for the flesh.
We separate the coats by hand.
Isles of thread, spun on a hanging stone. The women walked thousands of miles to spin one sail. A wall of thread. Stones hold the tension. She beats the weft up against gravity.
Tight as a drum, not clothing. This is engineering cloth.
Strip by strip. Sewn with double seams. A mosaic of wool.
The edge is the weakness. We frame it in walrus hide. The bolt rope.
The wool is woven, but it breathes. A breathing sail spills the wind. We must seal it.
Wool breathes. That is good for sheep, but bad for ships. We need to catch the wind, not filter it.
We need to fill the holes. We start with fat, horse tallow, rendered down to oil.
Red ochre, iron from the earth. It blocks the sun and strikes fear into the enemy.
Fat for the seal, ochre for the shield, tar for the binder, a blood-red slurry.
We don't paint it on, we scrub it in. Every fiber must drink the mixture.
Heat drives it home. The fat melts into the core. The wool drinks it up.
It is no longer cloth. It is a composite skin. Smooth, heavy, airtight.
Rain cannot soak it. Spray cannot weigh it down. It sheds the sea like a duck.
The Red Wing is ready. The machine is built. But it has no soul. We must carve the dragon.
Oak is for strength. Linden is for art. We choose a block with no knots to hold the dragon's face. First, the axe. We find the spirit inside the wood. The snarl begins to emerge. Then, the knife. Serpentine lines. The gripping beast. Chaos bound in wood.
It is not permanent. We take it off at home. The dragon scares the enemies, but it offends the spirits of the land.
Head and tail. The serpent is complete. A monster of the sea, born on land.
The final armor. The shields. Red and white. They protect the men and warn the world.
It takes a village. 50 men, round logs. The snow helps it slide.
The moment of truth. Wood meets water. She floats. She is alive.
The dragon is born. The forest has become a ship. Now, we sail.
The wool catches the wind. The tarred skin tightens. The dragon inhales.
Look at the rail. It twists. It breathes. The roots hold. And that's the end. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe for more history like this, and I'll see you in the next one.